Number one here, the Daily Wire reports Kenosha prosecutors have dropped the sex assault charges against Jacob Blake following a plea agreement. Blake pleaded guilty. Now, Jacob Blake, of course, he's the man in Kenosha who was shot by police officers as police officers were called to the scene. He was allegedly harassing a woman who also had accused him of raping her. And he had a knife. He assaulted the cops. He tried to get into a car, not his car. He tried to get into the woman's car with his kids in there. They tried to stop him. They told him to stop. He reached into the car, and then they shot. So that was the recap on that. But he had these sex assault charges. Again, the woman whose house he was at had accused him of sexual assault. Now, prosecutors are dropping those charges as part of a plea agreement, right? Blake pleaded guilty to 2 counts of disorderly conduct in order to get the 3rd-degree sexual assault charge dropped. Blake told Judge Brian Schroeder, "Honestly, Your Honor, though I plead guilty to this, I don't consider myself to be guilty. I pretty much took this opportunity to get to see my children quicker." Blake also said he did not sexually assault the woman making the allegations against him. Blake's attorney said dropping the charge meant prosecutors were acknowledging that ultimately the state could not prove it in court. Walworth County District Attorney Zeke Weidenfeld told the outlet that the sexual assault charge was dropped in part because the accuser refused to cooperate with prosecution. Yeah, well, of course she refused to cooperate. And the fact that they didn't have evidence to prove it in court does not at all mean it didn't happen. These are we have to remember this. These are extremely credible charges against Jacob Blake. The reason why they're extremely credible is because his accuser called police the morning that this incident happened. She said that Jacob Blake broke into her window at like 6 a.m. on a Sunday morning and walked into her room where she was sleeping and sexually assaulted her, and then stole her keys, her car, and a credit card and left. She called 911, and she was trembling and crying. She was still in her nightgown. And they came and they saw her there crying and obviously traumatized. I would call that an extremely credible accusation. This isn't one of those accusations somebody comes out of the woodwork, 30 years later. This is at the moment calling police. This is what happened to me. She's not cooperating. Okay, of course she's not cooperating. Her alleged abuser, who, by the way, she says has been abusing her for years. Not just that one time, for years, she said. And he's been lionized, canonized by the media, by the Democrat Party. The potential new president of the United States went and met with Jacob Blake's family and Jacob Blake himself and was singing his praises afterwards. So all of the most powerful people, put yourself in this woman's position. Assuming that her allegations are true, which I absolutely believe her. Believe all women? No, we don't believe all women. I believe this woman because the allegations are credible. Put yourself in her position. You are viciously assaulted by this man. And now, and then a few months later, he comes, steals your keys. You're trying to protect him from your kids. Gets himself shot after assaulting police. And now all the most powerful voices in society are coming to his defense and saying he's a great guy. He's a great father, even. What is she supposed to do? She comes out and tries to get this guy locked away. She's going to be worried for her own safety. She's going to be worried about being dragged through the mud. So you can definitely see where she's coming from there. But where are the feminists on this? This is something where you would think feminists would come out and come to this woman's defense. I haven't heard anything. And we have seen this, whether it's with Jacob Blake, George Floyd. There have been at least 3 or 4 cases just in the last few months of BLM making martyrs and heroes and canonizing men who have abused women in horrible ways. And those women are silenced. Nobody talks about them. Nobody cares about them. Feminists not coming to their defense. Because feminists are, of course, disingenuous phonies in almost every single case. Well, I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Matt Walsh Show. If you did, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right down there so you can stay up to date on all of our future content.